What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to one of my favorite new segments on the channel, and that is Nate's Favorites, the segment on my channel where I pick one of my favorite movies and get the opportunity to just talk about it in great detail. These could be movies I've seen multiple times over the years, movies that I just consider some of the best of the best, and I'm really excited to talk about today's movie because I felt like when this movie was released, it really didn't get the love that it deserved. I think there's so much that is very special about this film, and it's one that's not too old. I believe this was released in 2017, and when I saw it the first time, I was really blown away by it. And throughout the years, I've revisited it a few times, and every time I revisit this movie, I grow to love it more. And the movie I'm going to be discussing with you today is Thoroughbreds. Thoroughbreds is directed by Cory Finley. Two teenage girls in suburban Connecticut rekindle their unlikely friendship after years of growing apart. In the process, they learn that neither is what she seems to be, and that murder might solve both of their problems. So, as I said, I absolutely adore this movie. Obviously, it's one of my favorite films of all time, and there are a multitude of reasons for that. And I'm very excited to tell you about all of them today. So, the plot of this movie is fairly simplistic. At the beginning of the movie, we're introduced to Amanda, played by Olivia Cooke, who, as we are seeing early on in the film, does not seem to experience emotion. She seems to be completely and totally devoid of any feeling. And very early on in the film, we learn that she used to ride horses, and one of her horses got sick, and she ended up killing the horse in an incredibly violent way and was let go of the school she went to. She went through all of these different issues. She was getting a ton of psych evaluations. And so no one in this community is very close to her. She lives a very isolated experience, and she's fine with that because she says, every day of my life, I essentially pose like a human being, but I don't actually feel like a person. And so after learning all that, we see that she goes to be tutored at Lily's house, played by Anya Taylor-Joy. And Lily is the polar opposite. She is very emotional. She gets caught up in her feelings very quickly. And she's tutoring Amanda, and Amanda very quickly calls her out and says, I know my mom paid you to do this. I know that you're not doing this like out of your own free will. I know we've known each other for a long time, but you can cut the bullshit. Like, just be real with me. And they start spending more time together and start actually being realistic with one another. And they form this relationship together. Well, throughout that, we learn Lily cannot stand her stepfather. Her stepfather is overbearing, he's demanding, he's mean, and she thinks that he's ruining her life and her mother's life and wants to kill him. And so the entirety of the film is these two girls plotting to kill Lily's stepfather. So as I said, I absolutely love everything about this movie. And for starters, I have to talk about the performances. If you've been watching my YouTube channel for a while, you know I consider Anya Taylor-Joy to be one of my favorite actresses of all time. I think from starting roles like when she was in The Witch to now looking at Furiosa coming out this year, no matter what movie she is in, even if the movie is not great, she always makes it 200 times better. And this is a movie that really does a phenomenal job showcasing what makes her so special as an actress. And that is in part due to the motivations of these characters. Lily's character, especially Anya Taylor-Joy's role, we're constantly questioning her motivations throughout the entire runtime of the film. And I think because of her body language and her expressiveness, it makes it really difficult to know exactly what she is feeling in any specific moment. And she, as an actress, does a really great job at consistently making you question her intentions throughout the runtime of the movie. And I think it just speaks volumes to what an amazing performer that Anya Taylor-Joy is. Olivia Cooke is also incredible in this movie. I feel like she had a run of movies around this time period that were just incredible, back to back to back. And she hasn't done a ton of movies in a while. She's currently in that House of the Dragon television show. But she's phenomenal in this movie as well, to play a character that's really sort of devoid of any sort of emotion and that just feels like she's living every single day, putting on this mask and going around trying to essentially be a person. It's really impressive, and I love the way that she delivers this performance. And she also can make you question whether or not she actually has the ability to feel, or if she's kind of just been goofing on the audience and the way that she's acting in certain scenes. This film also includes the late great Anton Yelchin, who was one of my favorite actors, just had a super tragic passing way too early in his life. And this performance is fantastic and really showcases everything that I love about him as an actor. His character is not a good person. He's very seedy and he plays the role really, really well. And the chemistry between these three characters is really what makes the movie so much fun watching. It's like an hour and 30 minutes long, and it feels like it goes by in about 15 minutes. It's just that immersive, that engaging, and that much fun. I love the cinematography and the editing in this movie. It all really takes place in this one very large house, Lily's house, and I love the way that certain rooms are shot. I love the way that we cut between characters. There's so much attention to detail in the cinematography at where Lily and Amanda's characters are placed in the frame, that the space between the characters and where they sit in a room or where they stand with one another kind of shows where their relationship is at in that moment. And I really love that Cory Finley pays that much attention to detail and just the blocking and showing you without just using dialogue how these characters are feeling about one another in moments. And even like when the stepfather comes into frame, the way that they shoot him and how he's kind of towering over Lily's character in moments, and just his presence and the sound design in this movie and the way that they utilize the sound design really creates an uncomfortable and uneasy film that just keeps you on the edge of your seat from the very start till the very end. I also love the really strange score to this film. It's really a wild collection of sounds that just really that accompanies the tone of the movie, because the movie is extremely funny. There's a lot of blunt, dark comedy in this that makes me laugh so hard I almost cry every time I revisit this movie. But it also can be incredibly violent, and it also pulls no punches in moments. And I think having that score that's really just this very strange combination of noises keeps you on the edge of your seat and wondering what's going to happen in the next sequence. And the movie does a really great job building up both of these characters early on, to where when the plot really gets rolling, you care about both of them for different reasons. And it's all due to those phenomenal performances. And this is just one of those films that I remember when it was released, there were people who really liked it, but I don't feel like anyone really sat with it long enough for it to really hit hard. And I just think it's an interesting film exploring the concept of friendship and like loneliness, and this idea of just being completely devoid of emotion, or that you don't belong in any sort of group or set of circumstances. And the movie has a really wide array of themes that it explores, while also just being a really fun thriller that keeps you guessing up until the very last second. I love the last sequence of this movie. It's something I think about quite often, and one of the reasons why I was excited to revisit and tell you guys about this movie. And this movie's currently streaming on Hulu. I'm not sure for how much longer it's going to be on Hulu, but if you get the opportunity, please watch this movie. It's filled with amazing performances. It's a great thriller, and I guarantee you will enjoy it. So have you seen Thoroughbreds? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I think this movie is fantastic. I think it's a super slept on movie that more people need to see. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.